Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The consequences of an event, especially a catastrophic event. In the wake of the accident, no one knew how many had been injured. Stop sleeping. A vigil held over a corpse the night before burial. There's no weeping at an Irish wake. The wave that spreads behind a boat as it moves forward. The motorboat's wake capsized the canoe. Cause to become awake or conscious. Please wake me at 6 a.m. Arouse or excite feelings and passions. An island in the western Pacific between Guam and Hawaii. Be awake, be alert, be there. Make aware of. The consequences of an event, especially a catastrophic event. The aftermath of war. The outcome of an event, especially as relative to an individual. The consequences of an event, especially a catastrophic event. The flow of air that is driven backwards by an aircraft propeller. The wave that spreads behind a boat as it moves forward. Call forth emotions, feelings, and responses. Arouse pity. Summon into action or bring into existence, often as if by magic. Stop sleeping. To begin moving. Cause to become awake or conscious. Cause to be alert and energetic. Stimulate sexually. This movie usually arouses the male audience. Stop sleeping. Mentally perceptive and responsive. Awake to the dangers of her situation. Not in a state of sleep, completely conscious. Lay awake thinking about his new job. Stop sleeping. Cause to become awake or conscious. Make aware. They were awakened to the sad facts. Stop sleeping. Stop sleeping. Cause to become awake or conscious. Stop sleeping. Cause to become awake or conscious. A vigil held over a corpse the night before burial. The display of a motion picture. Cause to be agitated, excited, or roused. Become active. Cause to become awake or conscious. He was roused by the drunken men in the street. Force or drive out. Arouse or excite feelings and passions. Begin to smoke. Gain heat or get hot. The room heated up quickly. Make hot or hotter. The sun heats the oceans. The sensation caused by heat energy. Arouse or excite feelings and passions. Utility to warm a building. The heating system wasn't working. The trait of being intensely emotional. A form of energy that is transferred by a difference in temperature. The presence of heat. Applies to non-human mammals, a state or period of heightened sexual arousal and activity. A preliminary race in which the winner advances to a more important race. Provide with heat. Heat the house. Cause to start burning, subject to fire or great heat. Great heat can ignite almost any dry matter. Start to burn or burst into flames. Marsh gases ignited suddenly. Start or maintain a fire in. Arouse or excite feelings and passions. The ostentatious way of living of the rich ignites the hatred of the poor. Cause to start burning. Catch fire. Arouse or excite feelings and passions. Become inflamed. Get sore. His throat inflamed. Cause inflammation in. The repetitive motion inflamed her joint. Change the arrangement or position of. Provoke or stir up. Arouse or excite feelings and passions. Try to stir up public opinion. An island in the western Pacific between Guam and Hawaii. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. Produce as a result or residue. Issue or terminate, in a specified way, state, etc., end. Result in tragedy. A statement that solves a problem or explains how to solve the problem. He computed the result to 4 decimal places. The semantic role of the noun phrase whose referent exists only by virtue of the activity denoted by the verb in the clause. Something that results. He listened for the results on the radio. Come about or follow as a consequence. Nothing will result from this meeting. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. His decision had depressing consequences for business. Having important effects or influence. Decisions of great consequence are made by the president himself. The outcome of an event especially as relative to an individual. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. Something that results. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Circulate or distribute or equip with. Issue a new uniform to the children. Come out of. Water issued from the hole in the wall. The act of issuing printed materials. One of a series published periodically. She found an old issue of the magazine in her dentist's waiting room. An opening that permits escape or release. The canyon had only one issue. The becoming visible. Prepare an issue for public distribution or sale. Supplies, as food or clothing or ammunition, issued by the government. The immediate descendants of a person. He died without issue. The act of providing an item for general use or for official purposes, usually in quantity. A new issue of stamps. Make out an issue. Some situation or event that is thought about. An important question that is in dispute and must be settled. The issue could be settled by requiring public education for everyone. Bring out an official document, such as a warrant. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. He acted very wise after the event. A special set of circumstances. In that event, the first possibility is excluded. A phenomenon located at a single point in spacetime. the fundamental observational entity in relativity theory. Something that happens at a given place and time. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. The magnetic effect was greater when the rod was lengthwise. Of a law, having legal validity. The law is still in effect. Produce. The central meaning or theme of a speech or literary work. An outward appearance. She retained that bold effect in her reproductions of the original painting. Act so as to bring into existence. Effect a change. An impression, especially one that is artificial or contrived. He just did it for effect. A symptom caused by an illness or a drug. The effects of sleep loss. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. Undergo a transformation or a change of position or action. To break and turn over earth, especially with a plow. Turn the earth in the spring. Twist suddenly so as to sprain. I turned my ankle and couldn't walk for several days. Pass into a condition gradually, take on a specific property or attribute, become. The weather turned nasty. Cause to move around a center so as to show another side of. Turn a page of a book. Undergo a change or development. The water turned into ice. Let something fall or spill from a container. Turn the flour onto a plate. Cause a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. The strong man could turn an iron bar. Undergo a transformation or a change of position or action. We turned from socialism to capitalism. Pass to the other side of. Turn the corner. Have recourse to or make an appeal or request for help or information to. She turned to her relatives for help. Turning or twisting around, in place. A favor for someone. He did me a good turn. Change to the contrary. The tides turned against him. Game. The activity of doing something in an agreed succession. It is my turn. A short performance that is part of a longer program. A circular segment of a curve. Sports. A division during which one team is on the offensive. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. A movement in a new direction. The turning of the wind. An unforeseen development. Events suddenly took an awkward turn. The act of changing or reversing the direction of the course. He took a turn to the right. Go sour or spoil. The cream has turned, we have to throw it out. Accomplish by rotating. Turn a somersault. Alter the functioning or setting of. Turn the dial to 10. Become officially 1 year older. She is turning 50 this year. Cause to change or turn into something different. Assume new characteristics. The princess turned the frog into a prince by kissing him. Cause to move along an axis or into a new direction. Turn your face to the wall. Cause to move around or rotate. Turn a key. Change color. In Vermont, the leaves turn early. Change orientation or direction, also in the abstract sense. The mugger turned and fled before I could see his face. Channel one's attention, interest, thought, or attention toward or away from something. The pedophile turned to boys for satisfaction. Direct at someone. She turned a smile on me. Get by buying and selling. The company turned a good profit after a year. Move around an axis or a center. The wheels are turning. Shape by rotating on a lathe or cutting device or a wheel. Turn the legs of the table. Taking a short walk out and back. We took a turn in the park. The act of turning away or in the opposite direction. He made an abrupt turn away from her. To send or let go. They turned away the crowd at the gate of the governor's mansion. A purposeful surveillance to guard or observe. The rite of staying awake for devotional purposes, especially on the eve of a religious festival. A period of sleeplessness. A person employed to keep watch for some anticipated event. See or watch. Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. A purposeful surveillance to guard or observe. Observe with attention. They watched as the murderer was executed. A small portable timepiece. Follow with the eyes or the mind. The world is watching Sarajevo. Be vigilant, be on the lookout or be careful. The rite of staying awake for devotional purposes, especially on the eve of a religious festival. A period of time, 4 or 2 hours, during which some of a ship's crew are on duty. Look attentively. Watch a basketball game. The period during which someone, especially a guard, is on duty. Observe or determine by looking. One of a series of ridges that moves across the surface of a liquid, especially across a large body of water. Signal with the hands or nod. She waved to her friends. Move or swing back and forth. She waved her gun. Physics. A movement up and down or back and forth. An undulating curve. One of a series of ridges that moves across the surface of a liquid, especially across a large body of water. Move in a wavy pattern or with a rising and falling motion. The waves rolled towards the beach. Twist or roll into coils or ringlets. The act of signaling by a movement of the hand. A hairdo that creates undulations in the hair. A member of the Women's Reserve of the United States Navy. Originally organized during World War II but now no longer a separate branch. A movement like that of a sudden occurrence or increase in a specified phenomenon. A wave of settlers. A persistent and widespread unusual weather condition, especially of unusual temperatures. A heat wave. Set waves in. She asked the hairdresser to wave her hair. Something that rises rapidly. A wave of emotion swept over him. Cause to change. Make different. Cause a transformation. Add a modifier to a constituent. Make less severe or harsh or extreme. please modify this letter to make it more polite.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.